Hey there, people of the internet, this is RISTRIDI with a new video for you. This is the first part of my instruction video for Good Morning Black Friday by Megadeth, one song many of you requested. And be aware that this is only part one of a series of videos like this I'm going to do. And the rest of the parts will be available on my Patreon page, which is also linked in the description and at the end of this video. Anyways, let's get going. I hope you enjoy. So, first of all, let's say that this song is not an easy one to learn or to perform at all. Aside from all the tempo changes and the free timing in most of the solos, there are a few parts in this song that will rely entirely on you getting a feeling for the part, which means practicing what I'm showing you and then applying it in your own way that feels comfortable for you, just trying around until it feels almost like the original recording. The point I'm trying to make is this is something that cannot always be transcribed accurately in tablature or any musical notation. It will rely on you trying to figure it out on your own. So this is not all factual. Some of it is also subjective. Always try to use the instructions I give you kind of as guidelines and not as something definitive. Use it to wrap your head around the part, like how I think about it, and then figure out your own way to play it. Maybe something different feels more comfortable to you. Just to go a bit into detail how I approached learning this song, because I actually started learning this song before and then I quit again because it was very difficult to play to it. And part of that is actually because the tempo variations in this song are pretty, minimal, which makes it difficult to play along if you're not part of the band. This is why I built an exact tempo map for the song, and then I reduced the varying tempos which I did not feel have any dramatic impact on the song to a degree where most of the difficult parts are actually just one tempo, and I time stretched the original song to fit that. Also, I used previous knowledge about the players like Dave Mustaine and Chris Poland, which I gathered in some videos to figure out individual passages, and it also helps to have played other solos from these people before. Now, one thing about Chris Poland soloing is definitely his singing lead tone, his singing playing style. Sometimes doesn't even really sound like a guitar if you ask me. So how do you actually achieve that? Well, a lot of it is of course in the hands, but he also uses quite some tools like compressors and effects actually to achieve that. If you watch some of his videos after he left Megadeth, you will see that he has quite some technical diversity in his rack. But I think the most important part about achieving this is using a compressor before the signal reaches the amp. The compressor isn't actually there to kill any of the transients, it's more just there to make the sustain a bit longer. Because some of these high notes really stand in the room once you hit them, and that's what you want without having too much gain. Let me demonstrate the difference here really quick. Okay, so now here, as you can see, I have my Kemper profiling amp, which is right now set to a clean sound, and I will just very quickly switch to my lead sound, then you will know what I mean. I will disable the effects. You will see what I have there. I have a screamer on there, and I also have a compressor on there. And now I'm gonna show you what difference the compressor makes. I'm gonna try to hit the note really hard so you can hear the difference. And with the compressor on. And then of course we still have some effects that add to it. One is a chorus I added, which is really subtle. But you do notice it if you compare it. And then also a rather subtle delay. And talking about the rhythm sound, I would generally say go with what you're comfortable with. Don't use a too much mid-scooped sound, because this is an old school record, an old school song, and mid-scooped sound wasn't a thing back in then. Just make sure you don't use too much gain. I will actually use the same sound I used in the cover right now, and I will show you when I hit the strings really soft how little gain there is actually. Because this is a crucial part of recording actually, also in metal, that you don't use so much gain. It will make the guitar much punchier, but you also have to play more aggressively to achieve that sound. This is me lightly touching the string. Isn't really that much distortion, right? But if you now make your picking more aggressive and you use a very sharp pick, so let's first talk about the lead section of the intro by Chris Poland. Now, what's important about the playing style of this section is that you really have a minimal usage of the whammy bar, but you do need one, which is kind of the dipping before and after a note begins and ends. It starts like this. Like you may have noticed, I didn't even pick the first notes, I just hammered on. And this is also a very important thing. When you begin, it's not really that important from which note you begin. Like, you don't have to make it exactly in half step, but when you push it down, it should end on a note that makes sense in a musical way. So in this case, it's just one step down, which is difficult to control by force. See, I was a bit sharp there. And then the next one. Now off to the second section. It picks a bit up in speed. We left off at this note. There you have a hammer on again with the dipping without picking the string. And then you slide down to the 9th fret with your middle finger and play this figure. Let's do it again in context. And then we come to a very tricky part, which I didn't get right many times when I recorded the cover actually. Okay, we left off there. And here, of course, the difficult thing is not making any noises in between and the ending harmonic, which is not exactly the way that Chris Poland plays it. I think he plays a bit with his volume pedal there, but I tried to approach this in a different way, and you still need some, well, strength muscle memory, you could say, which lets you land on an exact note before you hear it with the whammy bar, which is really challenging because you need that interval on this note. a note. And then you just release the whammy. Ideally, you would hit this note not like me, after only picking it, but the moment you pick it. And the last section of this solo would be. Okay? Okay, let's head over to the intro. The intro begins like this. Here I am on the 6th fret, 8th fret, and 9th fret, and open string. Both low strings are always downstrokes, both high strings are always upstrokes. Okay, second figure is this. Okay, so here we have 9th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret. And open string again. And then we move down here. Okay, again. Here we have 7th fret, 8th fret, and 9th fret. Here we have to change our fingering a bit. We are with the middle finger on the 4th fret. Okay? And this is the first section of the intro. In the second variation, we have a bit of a different feel to it. But it starts like this. Okay, so like before, just a different picking pattern. Then we move the lowest note up to the 8th fret. Then to the 9th fret. And then this descending pattern. So here we're always staying on these notes. We're only descending with this one. And then towards the end of the section, we get this one. 9th fret, 8th fret, 9th fret. And then 11, 9, 12, 9. Okay, so this is the beginning. Okay, so first you bar the 8th fret on these strings, and the 9th fret on the B string, and then you go like 12th fret, 11th fret, 9th fret, 11th fret. We start on the 9th fret, and then the 7th fret on the H string. Okay, this is what you play there. Okay, so the first section goes like this. And then the second repetition ends like this.